Hello students, welcome to engineering assignments. In engineering assignments, we have created a disaster management playlist. So this video is a continuation of the lithosphere. So here we are going to deal with the composition of the lithosphere. Right, now the composition of the lithosphere. The lithosphere consists of minerals, rocks and the soil. And it has more than 100 chemical elements and most of them are rare. You have seen the periodic table. In the periodic table, some elements are always rare. So lithosphere has 100 of chemical elements in it, but most of them are rare and more than 99% of volume includes oxygen, silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium and magnesium. So you can see a table given here. The oxygen is 46.6%, silicon 27.7%, aluminium 8.1%, iron 5.0%, calcium 3.6%, sodium 2.8%, potassium 2.9%, magnesium 2.1%. So they constitute around 99% of volume of the lithosphere. Okay. So only few elements are present in the pure form in the earth crust called as native elements. They include your copper, gold, lead, mercury, nickel, platinum and silver. They occur in a pure form. And these elements are contained in the ores are found in different combination as the minerals. And minerals are, you already know that it is naturally occurring inorganic crystalline solid that have a definite chemical combination. And there are some minerals which has a single element. It's the diamond and the graphite. It only consists of carbon. Right? So composition of the lithosphere. The lithosphere consists of minerals, rocks and soil. Right? So rocks and the soil are building blocks of the lithosphere. So the rocks are naturally occurring hard and consolidated inorganic materials and it's composed of one or large amount of minerals in it. And certain other minerals like coal and limestone are developed from the plants and animals remains and they takes a long time to have. So there are many types of rocks. There are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rock. Now the igneous rocks, these rocks are formed by the solidification of magma in the interior or the lava on the surface of the earth. The igneous rocks is composed of primary minerals which are silicates. Igneous rocks sometimes overlap with the sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. So just I'm making you to remember what we have studied in geography in our school days. Next is sedimentary rock. The name itself, it tells that it is formed because of some sedimentation. So sedimentary rocks are formed by precipitation from the solution and consolidation of the remnants of biotic components like plants and animals. And these rock contains original primary minerals like quartz and mica and altered as well as newly synthesized secondary minerals like clay, calcite and gypsum. So that's about the sedimentary rock. Next we have the metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rock is a thermal rock. It's found from pre-existing rock like igneous rocks and sedimentary rock. Due to the change in their temperature and pressure in a solid state is known as metamorphic rock. And these rocks are formed when the magma intrudes through the pre-existing igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. And all these types of rocks, they undergo metamorphism and they form a metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks and metamorphic rock get weathered also and they form a sediment and these sediments get deposited and lithified into the sedimentary rocks. Now about the soil. Soil is a surface layer of and it's a natural body that contains a variable mixture of broken and weathered material and decaying of the organic matter which covers the earth in a thin layer. It takes a long period of time for the soil to form through some natural process and the formation takes place from weathering and decomposition of the rocks and minerals. So that is the basic formation of the soil. Soil is a dynamic layer of the earth crust which constantly changing and goes on developing. The upper limit of the soil is the air or water. See if it is an ocean, the upper part of the soil will be water. And its lateral margins, great to deep water or barren area of rock or even ice. In some snowy places, above the soil will be ice. Now there are different types of soils, and there is details which is given, and you have to study that. The first one is volcanic ash. It's fine grained and they are weathered very easily. So the name itself suggests that it has been formed from the volcanic ashes, and such soils are called antisols, and they are very fine texture soil. Moreover, it will be very fertile also. That means it is very rich in organic matters as well as plant nutrients. These soils are likely to be found in the places where there are active or recently extinct volcanoes exist. So here we can find the plants will grow very easily. Then there is granite. It's a cross-grained rock. It consists of 25% of quartz and 65% of orthoclase. It's actually composition of igneous rocks and is somewhat sandy in nature. It will have a low nutrient content, so that means it's less fertile. Moreover, it's friable, permeable, acidic, and low in base status. And it has very little cohesion and consolidation, so there's a chance of erosion to happen. Next, we have a limestone. See, when we talk about limestone, the first concept comes into our mind is calcium carbonate. So it consists of calcite. They have considerable quantities of impurities other than carbonates, quartz, clay, iron, and so on. This soil is formed by the weathering of limestone rocks, and the soil which result are basically clayey in nature. They could also be in form of clay loams and sandy loams. Next is sandstone soil. It mostly consists of sandsites quartz. It also consists of feldspars and mica and other agents like silica, iron, and lime. It is not at all fertile. They are coarse texture, acidic in nature, so plants growth may not happen here. Next is basalt, and it is fine textured. It is ferromagnetic type, so it is very much rich in ferromagnesium and calcic plagioclase mineral. Next, we are going to deal with the function of soil. So, functions of the soil is that it basically for the mechanical support of the plant, and it has the ability to holding the water as a property of porosity, and this ability makes the soil as a reservoir of the water. And soil provides micro and macro nutrients as well as it provides the ideal pH value required for the growth of microorganisms, plants and animals. It prevents excessive leaching of nutrients, and the soil houses bacteria that fix nitrogen and other elements, fungi, protozoa, and other microorganisms. And these organisms aids in decomposition of the organic matter. These all things are done by your soil. So students, in this video, we have dealt with the composition of the lithosphere. So thank you students. Thank you for watching my video.